Okay, here this goes. I don't even know how to start this. Okay, I guess we'll start it this way. I'll just tell you from the beginning, and we'll just start there. We'll start at the beginning. In 2009, I was a senior in high school, and everything was going great. My family, my mom, my dad, and I had just moved to Lubbock, Texas, the year before to start a church there, and you know, it was hard. It got even harder, and everything completely changed that December. Basically, the short version of the story is that one day I got home from school, was talking to my mom, my dad got home, I went to my room, and I don't want to tell the whole story because that's not for this video, but the FBI showed up at my house. Apparently they showed up at the church, and my dad was arrested. This was completely out of the blue. It was, well, for me, I was completely in shock. But there's a lot more to like that story. I can go into more detail of like what happened that day and how I processed everything, and yeah, that's another story. If you guys are interested in hearing that, let me know and I'll consider how I'm gonna tell that story. But this today, right now, what I'm talking to you about it has to do with right now, not 9 years ago, 8 years ago. So basically, my dad was sentenced to 8 years in jail, and he was put into prison, his sentence and everything, he went to court the summer 2010. So I graduated high school, and he went to court and everything, and then he was sent to prison. Basically, the sentence is what you are scheduled to have, but that could change. It could get longer, it could get shorter, like at any given time. And so there's a lot of unknown factors. So for the last 8 years, my dad has been in federal prison, which you could imagine has been very different for my family, to say the least. And the reason I feel such a strong urge to talk about it today with you guys is because yesterday my brother got a call from my dad, and basically my dad is going to be out of jail and be sent to a halfway house, which is normal for people that are in jail for so long. It's like a normal thing. They're required to go to a halfway house for a certain amount of time. But they let him know that, yes, his time is up and he will be going to a halfway house in September. It's July. I'm currently planning a baby shower for September. Like, that's so soon. This is why it's such an uncomfortable topic to talk about, because a part of me is so incredibly happy for my dad. Like, I'm so excited that he is going to be out of jail and that he is going to be more involved in the real world, and I'm so happy that he's going to be back in our lives to a certain extent. But I'm also like freaking out a little bit, if I'm being honest. Freaking out because it's almost like it's like someone coming back from the dead. I don't know if that's a great analogy, but you guys, you have to realize how much has changed in the last 8 years. Like, all of our lives are completely different. In the last 8 years, I graduated high school, I went to Bible school, I became a full-time licensed and ordained youth pastor. I was doing that, I got engaged, I got married, I moved across the country twice, I had multiple different occupations and jobs and titles, and then now I'm pregnant and I'm gonna have a baby, and I'm still Ebeth, but like, I'm living a different life, you know? And not only that, but my brother's life is completely different. And of course, my mom's life is completely different. She is now remarried to a wonderful man, by the way, whom I love dearly and admire. So it's weird. It's so weird to think about. And I feel nervous, if I'm being honest. I've had a conversation with my dad in the past about, like, I don't think he fully understands how different everything is gonna be, you know, because he's basically, you know, life was a certain way, and then boom, he was put into a time capsule almost. And it's not like he doesn't know, like, he's aware. We've been talking to him, he writes letters, we talk to him on the phone every now and then, like, he knows things have changed, but does he really understand it? I don't think so yet. I don't know, guys. I don't know how to explain this properly, but I just wanted to be really transparent and say that this is gonna be so weird, and it's just gonna be so weird. I will say this: I love my father so much that this has been very hard on my, I guess, my just emotions. And clearly I've been dealing with this for the last, you know, 8 years. This is not like brand new, but it's very relevant right now because it's like the reality of, oh my God, he's gonna be like back. Like, oh my God, how am I gonna handle that? How am I gonna, I want the best for my dad. I really do. And the faith side of me says refuse to let fear have any place in this. Redemption, you know, God has a plan, God will provide. It's like my spirit is willing but my flesh is weak in this, man, because just understanding the reality that he is going to be put in and that we have been put in, because I want to be a good daughter to him, but I don't want my life to be consumed by the concern for him. And I think that was the hardest thing for me while he was in jail, because I went through these seasons of talking to him on a regular basis, to ignoring his calls, to talking to him on a regular basis, to ignoring his calls. Not because I was angry with him necessarily. I mean, there were times I was upset with him because of different things, but it was more so I would be so distraught, like so in so much pain for him, and be so lost, like, God, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to help him in this time? I want to be there for him, but I feel like I just can't. I don't think I can handle it. And that's kind of, it was like a teeter-totter. Like, I would be strong enough, and then it was like, nope, I can't handle it. I can't handle it right now. There's too much other stuff going on. I can't take myself to that place. And it was just kind of like a back and forth thing. But now it's like, oh my God, he's back. I mean, not yet, but he's coming back. And it's weird, guys. I don't know how else to put it. It's weird. It's exciting, but it's scary. Not because my dad's not like a scary guy. I'm not saying that. It's just, to have someone out of your life for so long and then to have them back in your life and to have him understand all the new dynamics of our family. Yeah, that's the scary part. And I want you guys to know, like, I have not kept this part of my life a secret. I just have not opened up about it in such a public manner, because I just didn't know how. Like, I wanted to, and I even wrote to my dad, like, hey, I think I'm ready to tell the story. Just, I'm gonna put it out there. And he was like, okay, like, I hope it can encourage someone and help someone. And but I've shared it a lot one-on-one in counseling sessions, mostly with young ladies that are having daddy issues, if we're being honest, because hello, I feel you. And I've shared it a few times, like when I'm speaking or preaching, in different ways, mentioned it here and there, but recently I did share pretty much the whole story when I was invited to speak at a day conference. And I talked about how, you control your attitude, and no matter what's going on around you, or the decisions that people around you make your own decisions. And every day I choose joy. Ebeth, why are you so happy? Well, I choose joy every day. If I wanted to be depressed, if I wanted to show everyone the burdens that I've carried, I very well could. I could have used this as a crutch for the last 8 years, but instead I refused to use it as a crutch. Granted, I probably did not deal with it in the best way in the beginning, because I kind of like stockpiled all my emotions, and then one day they all just came out. So that wasn't the healthiest thing. That was early on though, and I feel like I've handled it a lot better now. But we're in this new season, this brand new season, and I have faith that it is going to go smooth. I have faith that my family, as a family unit, is going to handle it well. My dad is a really great guy. He really is. And he was a wonderful father to me. He just did some stupid stuff and got the consequences for it. That's another thing. This whole experience has brought so much more compassion and understanding in my life personally, that I'm not so quick to judge because I know that wonderful people with wonderful intentions can get caught up in the wrong things so easy, and it can turn them into a bad person, or the perception of them can be completely, turned around. A lot of people that were very close with my dad, that wanted to be buddy and, rub arms with him, and after all this happened and came out, they totally abandoned him, or even bad talked him. And it's like, really? Like, really? Just because his mistake came out in the public, you think that's okay? You think that's okay because he screwed up, so now you can totally disown him and act like you didn't know him and you weren't best friends with him? Like, for real though? That matter, like, this has helped me reach people in a new way. It's like, hey, I need you to realize that every decision you make has an impact on your life, and it has an impact on the people around you. Like, my dad's decision impacted me, it impacted my brother, it impacted my mom, it impacted our church and the people in our church, and it impacted people that were close to him, his brothers, you know, my mom's parents. Like, it impacted so many people out of these decisions that he made. And it's like, we have to realize that, like, dear believers, like, those secret sins or those things that you get caught up in, you need to be freed from that. You need to be open about it. You need to get help about it, because you're not only potentially screwing up your life, but you could really be screwing up some other people's lives. So I guess that's all I want to say. A lot of it was just emotional vomit, I guess. That's kind of gross. And just things that I've been thinking about. I don't know exactly how to help others deal with public trauma. I know ignoring it is not good, and I know that I wish other people would have been more present during that time, especially during the beginning phases. It's not to say nobody was present. There were people that were present in our lives, but I kind of wish I felt more surrounded by people that cared what was going on, and not just that expectation of, you know, pick yourself up, wipe yourself off, and move on. Because that's the attitude I have most of the time anyways, is like, get over it, it's gonna be okay, let's go, let's do this, let's live life. That's the attitude I have anyways. But when you're dealing with something that's so extreme, you need to be comforted, even if you have a brave face, and just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move on with your life. So I get it. If you're dealing with something like that, I get it. You never know what someone is going through. You never know their true life experience, or what's going on behind closed doors, or in their mind, or in their hearts. And I'm so grateful for my relationship with God through all of this. I'm so grateful that I was rooted and grounded in the Word before any of this drama happened, because I will tell you this, that is what got me through the last 8 years. I mean, when I found out everything that had happened, and when it was hard, very, very hard at home, after my dad got arrested, I would leave the house, I would take the car to a church parking lot, and I would blast gospel music and cry out to the Lord, like weeping in the car by myself. I'm a senior in high school, granted, and I would listen to my Wow Gospel album and the song Everything That the Devil Stole, God's Given It Back to Me. I would just have that on repeat, and I would be in the car like, it was a very dramatic, like, it would be a great movie scene. It was but I would just listen to that over and over and over and remind myself, like, God has a plan. Devil, you will not take my future. Just because you jacked up his life, you're not going to jack up my life. Like, no. This is not going to have power over the rest of my future. And you have to decide that for yourself, guys. You really, truly do, especially if it's drama with your parents, or even if it's drama with your spouse. Like, if somebody else is making bad decisions that is really screwing things up, you have to stand firm for yourself, and you have to say, no, that's not going to screw with my life. God has a plan, and I'm going to stay faithful. And Holy Spirit, you're going to use this some type of way to propel me into my future. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to do it somehow. Wow, I don't know how I'm going to edit this video. I appreciate you listening, and I greatly appreciate your support and your prayers and kind words. I hope that this was encouraging to somebody, and not just, I don't want to bring you down. Like, I hope this video didn't, like, bring you down. I just want to be real with you guys. I just need to keep reminding myself that my faith is stronger than any fear that tries to come at me. And God has a plan. Okay, love you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Stay awesome, be you, and keep loving Jesus. Boo. Taking it.